Duel Links Network presents Duel Links Weekly with your hosts, MasKScarin. Welcome everyone to Duel Links Weekly. Stick around while we recap all the tournament results of the week and make sure you know exactly where to get in on some tournament action of your own. We'll cover the in-game news and updates, and stay tuned for our new tournament tier list where we cover the top performing decks of the week. And to start us off this week, we have a card trader update coming to the game. Finally, now it's not really saying, hey, we're going to make it easier for you to actually get the cards in the card trader. In fact, this update actually is doing the exact opposite of that. They're bringing back every old card that has ever been removed from the card trader and putting it back in. Therefore, every single card they ever got out of the way for us to have a chance of getting the new cards are now back in the way. You know what? There is one positive side to the card trader update. We now can trade in for colored keys up to 10 times per color every card trader reset. That means it's going to be a lot easier for us to keep down that mound of blank keys that keep overflowing out of our pockets. I mean, some people run into that problem. Our in-game inventory keeps getting clogged and you have to have that 99 staring you in the face the whole time. Anyhow, card trader update coming, basically bringing back every single card they've ever removed, and honestly, the only thing they're accomplishing with that is making it even harder for us to actually get 3 copies of new cards to add to the card trader. Speaking of adding cards to the card trader, they have added 3 new cards to the card trader as well. We have Super Solar Nutrient, activating this card by tributing 1 level 2 or lower plant type monster. Special summon a plant type monster from your deck that is less than or equal to 3 levels more than the tributed monster. Now, we had a card like this in the game, similar. I believe it worked for insects, but I don't believe it was limiting you to level 2 or lower, but seeing more plant support regardless. We're already seeing Sylvans topping everywhere. So, interesting to see if they'll be able to fit something like this into that deck. Probably not, but not the only new card being added to the game. We also have Confronting the Sea. When your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, this card is unaffected by monster effects that target this card. Now, 1100 attack, 2500 defense, 5-star monster. And there just isn't, you just aren't reliably coming up against people summoning stuff from the extra deck. So this card's probably not going to see a whole lot of play, but one that definitely has some potential is Danapon. It's the 3rd new card being added to the card trader. When this card's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add an insect type monster with 1000 defense or less from your deck to your hand. So basically getting insects some more search and consistency. So kind of just saying, hey, I know insects aren't really making an appearance yet. Maybe if you guys can take this search card, it might just give it that breath of life you need to get an insect deck up on the board. And we're gonna be seeing the return of Jesse Anderson to Duel Links. Now, we've run into him once before. He was a roaming legendary duelist, so you know we didn't really get off on the right foot, because we all know how we feel about roaming legendary duelists. Mediocre drops. They spawn once an hour, it feels like sometimes. But that being said, you know, this event is going to allow us to unlock Jesse Anderson, which is fantastic. Whenever you get to unlock a new legendary duelist, he's at level 1. You got 39 levels to level him up through and get tons of loot, drops, a couple thousand gems, which is fantastic for the free-to-play players. Now, the only thing the game has told us about this event is a hint towards Jesse needing help unlocking his ace monster. Now, do we think his ace monster is going to be Rainbow Dragon? Definitely a card Jesse is known for. It might be a little hard to fit this into Duel Links right now. In order to summon Rainbow Dragon, you have to have at least 7 different named crystal beasts on the field or in your graveyard. And then its effect: banish all crystal beasts from your graveyard, shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. It's something. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you ask me. 4,000 attack, 0 defense. It's a one-shot in Duel Links if you get it through an open field. That zero defense does kind of make you squirm thinking about how many enemy controllers are flying around. All in all, definitely an event to be excited for. You're going to unlock a new legendary duelist. It does not sound like he's landing at the gate, so be aware that this is an event exclusive legendary duelist. Now, we typically see these duelists hit the gate 2 to 3 months after these types of events, but you don't want to be sitting here without the duelist for those 2 to 3 months. You never know if he's gonna end up being. You never know if he's gonna end up having the new skill that is going to just top the meta. So make sure you're here. It's going live March 28th, Jesse Anderson event, and get your hands on that new legendary duelist. Now, another pretty important event in the game right now is the 72-hour sale. Now, I know this is pretty standard marketing techniques by Konami. 72-hour sale! It's right now! Go, go, go! Limited time only! Get it while it's hot! But, I mean, they're not wrong. This deal is significantly better than buying packs with at their regular prices. So if there are a couple cards that you're just dying to get a hold of, don't forget, the KC Cup is right around the corner. If you haven't qualified for the World Champion qualifiers, then you definitely got to take this KC Cup seriously. And this might be your best chance at just getting in there and finishing off that meta deck you've been wanting to get your hands on. Something you know you're going to want to run during the KC Cup. 72 hours only, so there's probably, by the time you're actually seeing this, maybe a day left in the sale. This is probably the time to whip out that credit card and just do it. Or maybe you're totally fine, you don't need any, and this is just another one of those events you can ignore. Now, another pretty important event right now that most of you will hardly notice is happening because you just complete this without even trying, but the Ranked Duels Challenge Stamp event is currently occurring. Basically, it's 7 or 8 duels, ranked duels you have to do in the time period that the event's running. And you get, just shy of about 90 gems. It's just shy of being enough to get yourself 2 packs. So if you're not someone who usually jumps into ranked duels, I know as hard as it might sound to be true, I definitely have a couple people that I know that don't play ranked duels at all. But this is the time. Win or lose, just jump in there. You got to get through about 7 or 8 duels, and you get yourselves 90 gems. I mean, if I got 90 gems every time I played 7 duels, well, I'd have a lot of gems. So make sure you get those ranked duels done, guys, and finish off your ranked challenge stamps. And as well, don't forget about that 72-hour sale. This is the time to take advantage of it. KC Cup's coming. Now, we almost forgot to talk about Superb Taya. Yes, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all guessed it was going to be Taya. Well, I mean, I was pretty close anyhow. But this is the first time Konami has actually, the first time in a long time, I should say, Konami has actually given us a roaming duelist worth farming. Now, Taya dropped some pretty interesting cards. Let's go take a quick look at them. Divine Punishment, her new trap card, you can activate only if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field. Basically, it's a 1-for-1, negates a spell, trap, or effect monster activation. What I would call the strongest counter trap we currently have in the game. Straight up, it does have the requirement of Sanctuary in the Sky needed to be on the field, but that becomes less of a problem when we all own about 3 copies of Sanctuary in the Sky. Or you should or could own it. That's the important part. And then we can pretty reliantly pull that out of the deck with 3 copies of the field spell and 3 copies of Zeradius, Herald of Heaven. You can discard this card to the graveyard to add 1 Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck to your hand. So there is 6 cards in a 20-card deck that can have you open up with the Sanctuary in the Sky, making Divine Punishment absolutely the best counter trap we have in the game. Spell cards, no problem. Traps, see ya. Effect monster activations, you're gone. Now, to top it off, we have Meltiel, Sage of the Sky. Every time a counter trap is activated, gain 1,000 life points. And if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on face on the field, you literally just pick a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And even to make this better, it specifies a card that your opponent controls. So this cannot be used negatively. It's not a forced effect. It can never backfire on you like some cards. For example, Anata, the alien Anata. If it's the only card on the field, it destroys itself. So if your opponent only controlled one card and you destroy that card with a counter trap, you're not forced to destroy one of your own cards with this card. She dropped a handful of other cards, such as Harvest Angel of Wisdom. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can add a counter trap card from your graveyard to your hand. So this basically just a pretty decent 1800 attack, 4-star beater. You're seeing the synergy here, though. This is going to recycle Divine Punishment for you and absolutely lock down the game. We've seen these decks floating around. They're not, spoiler alert, they aren't topping our tournament tier list this week, but we'll have to see what people do when everyone's farmed a full playset and see if any of these new decks make their way into the meta. Anyway, this is Superb Taya. Another thing I wanted to mention, though, about Superb Taya on the whole was I feel like Konami has finally pinned down that Roaming Duelist event. I thoroughly enjoyed this Roaming Duelist event. Honestly, this came down to crunch day before I realized they were extending it to the 30th. Taya comes out, and I feel like I farm her, and I auto-duel 6, maybe 7 standard duelist, and boom, she's respawned. So you can really just sit down, and in a matter of a couple hours, 3, 4, 5 at most, accumulatively, farm out a full play set of cards from this Roaming Duelist. And I feel like that's a comfortable amount of time to donate to it. Like Roaming Duelists stress me out, especially when their cards are really good. In the past, oh my gosh, I'm thinking back to Yugi Muto days. It was almost impossible to farm a full play set. Union Attack, I'm getting flashback nightmares here. Trying to farm Union Attack from Yugi Muto back in the day, it was almost impossible. It took me my 3rd Yugi Muto event to even get 1 copy of Union Attack. But they've nailed it. I'm really happy to see the more you duel, the more he spawns. That introduction was fantastic, and I feel like they've really hit the sweet spot on it now. Pop a dual orb here or there, and Taya's just, you could finish this event in these last 3 days, and even if you haven't even started it yet. So make sure you do. This is the first time we've seen some really good cards drop from a Roaming Duelist event, and you guys don't want to miss out on it. And now that we've went over all your current events going on in Duel Links, let's take a look at the upcoming updates we can expect in April. Now, Konami was nice enough to give us this little sneak peek, but let's check it out. We got the KC Cup coming April 5th. Stage 1 runs for April 5th to April 16th. Stage 2 will be April 13th to April 16th. So you guys know, when to book your holidays. So you get that time off work, Start stocking up on Red Bull. Fun. That being said, this is going to be one of your last opportunities to get into the World Championship qualifiers. So if you haven't punched that ticket yet, saddle up, get ready. This is it. We're going to have another Duelathon in early April. It's not the most exciting thing, but Duelathon, free stuff. You never say no to free stuff. Here's a cool one. Dr. Velian Crowler is coming to the gate, which means that Crowler is no longer going to be an event-exclusive Legendary Duelist, which is great news to people who might have missed one or both of the Crowler events. You either don't own Crowler at all, or maybe you only have 1 or 2 copies of Ancient Gear Golem. And this is going to allow you to farm a full play set and start playing with the ultimate Ancient Gear Golem Fusion if you've had a little bit of a hard time trying to make that deck work so far. But yeah, it's always nice to see. It usually takes 2 to 3 months after their exclusive events for Konami to release Duelists to the gate. They don't want to have to repeat the events that have already happened. They're considered old and stale now, so make room for new ones like Jesse Anderson that we're going to see March 28th, which is fantastic. And yeah, there you go. So if you don't have Crowler, stay tuned. She's coming to the gate mid-April. So unfortunately, that is after the KC Cup. You know what? Mid-April is arguably right in time, perhaps. We don't know for that second stage of the KC Cup. So if you do want to run an Ancient Gear deck, there is still hope if you don't have the Duelist yet. Now in mid-April, obtain a legendary duelist, we're going to see Yami Merrick return. Now, if you don't have Yami Merrick, this will be another chance for you to unlock him and obtain the Winged Dragon of Ra. And also, there's going to be a new skill added into the game for Yami Merrick, which is really cool. So when they add a new skill, you always hope that it's actually going to be something that could influence the meta. That's great. Shake things up a little bit. And they're even giving us a sneak peek into May. Early May, Elegant Mai is going to reappear. Now, whew, I get these terrible flashbacks when I even see the name Elegant Mai. Elegant Mai was the worst roaming duelist I think Duel Links has ever had. The drop rate was horrific. The spawn rate was terrible. This was right before Konami introduced the more you play, the more it spawns. And I do not own one copy of a single one of Elegant Mai's it's Mai. How am I getting this wrong? I got lectured on this forever, so long ago. I don't have a single copy of Elegant Mai's super rare or ultra rare drops, so I'm looking forward to her coming back, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Early May though, that's nuts. Early May again, obtain a legendary duelist. An all-new duelathon is coming. Fill your duel meter to unlock a new character. Now, I thought, I do remember something like this. This was how Bones was released. So they're not saying Bones is coming back. I'm ready to take on the world. But they must be using the same method at releasing another duelist. Now, here's a really exciting one. This is fantastic news for, well, really everybody, but especially free-to-play players. The character level cap is being increased. That means gems, 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 and did I say gems? We all know every single character you have, I assume they're increasing from level 40 to level 50, and at least, I would say, 2, 3, maybe even 4 of those level up rewards are probably going to be gems, and it's probably going to be like 200, 250, maybe even 300 a pop. You could see almost 900 new gems, I would imagine, per legendary duelist, which is fantastic. That being said, don't hold me to it, because Konami could always be like, yeah, you know, we've been nice about the gems in the other levels. Maybe we'll just throw some really... Don't forget the cards. I mean, this is the Legendary Duelist level up rewards is a fantastic way for Konami to also introduce limited quantity but really strong cards into the game. So that's going to be a huge update. We're going to see, I mean, literally, we're going to see new cards on every single standard duelist in the game. Probably 2 to 3 new cards, and every single one of them could be an influence. That's going to be one of the biggest updates we've seen, and that's scheduled for late April. So definitely want to make sure we check that out. And one last event that's worth taking a look at and just mentioning is the bonus duel reward campaign. Now this is going to have a pretty good influence on us because with this Jesse Anderson event going live March 28th, this bonus duel assessment is still going to be live until April 5th. So we're going to see all of the farm decks required to farm Jesse Anderson during this event are only going to have to achieve 7,000 points. And this bonus duel assessment is going to top us up to 8,000. So it's going to make this event a lot easier to farm, which is great. And also, I did miss one of the updates coming in mid-April. I'm not going to bother switching the screen over to it. I can just talk. But the second half of the Battle City event is also coming in April. And with it, we're going to see some new reward cards, which are great. But more importantly, a new skill for Yami Yugi. Now, Yami Yugi already has one of the most influential skills in the game, Destiny Draw. So you got to wonder, are they going to bring something new to the table that could even make us choose it over Destiny Draw? That's got to be something pretty good. But I guess we're going to have to wait to find out. Now, let's kick it to the curb with all these game updates. We're finished with them. Let's go check out our tournament results of the week. Now let's start off our tournament talks with the Duel Links Pro Tournament Series. We got the DLPT 15 that was just held this Saturday, March 24th. Was a huge turnout, and the tournament featured a $400 prize pool. Yes, Duel Links does not just have to be something you play for fun on your phone or your computer. There's some serious money up for grabs if you get into the tournament scene. And I gotta say, it's a great scene to get into. I want to congratulate TCB Dead Fun for taking home first place and a huge chunk of that $400. With Sylvans running Restart. Also running Sylvans on Restart, we got Who Is KP coming in second place. And also, congrats to 3Ks all day, taking home third, not running Sylvans for a change, but running a Flying Fish deck on Mythic Depths. So, yep, we're starting to see Sylvans everywhere. They're definitely dominating the tournament scene. I'm pretty sure they are our tournament deck of the week. But we'll go over the rest of the top 8 deck lists when we go over our tournament tier list of the week, which will be great. And also, definitely keep your heads up for the DLP Weekly that's going to be this Thursday, March 29th. So you're going to want to get into that. There's going to be a pretty good prize pool, I'm sure, that ends up running for that tournament. Now, moving on from Duel Links Pro, we have the Mata Cup 3. The Mata Cup 3 was held this Sunday, March 25th, and featured over a $200 prize pool, which is fantastic. That's a pretty big chunk of change to grab. Now, I gotta congratulate Rabata 2 for winning the Mata Cup 3 and taking home over $80. And if you could have guessed it, yes, running Sylvans with Restart. We got Black Jesus coming in second, taking home over $40, running Rez straight to the grave for a change. Nice to see something a little different in the top contenders of the week. We got Black T coming in third, also running Sylvans, but this time using Balance, switching it up just a little bit. Black T took home over $20. Now the cool thing about the Mata Cup 3 is 4th place also took home over $20, and 5th place through 8th place got to take home over $10. So all you had to do was get in the top 8 of the Mata Cup 3, and you were in a money position. I just want to congratulate everyone who placed in the top 8 for the Mata Cup 3 and took home prize money. Keep an eye on our website, duellinksnetwork.com, to find out when the next Mata Cup is going to be. And moving on from the Mata Cup, we have the Duel Links Open 5, which happened this week. It featured just shy of a $150 prize pool. Congrats to Gabrielle94 running, yes, you guessed it, Sylvans with Restart. I believe Sylvans with Restart have won every single tournament we've featured so far this week. And Gabrielle took home over $100 for getting first place. And of course, congratulations to Tecumseh for coming in second, taking home just shy of $50. Only first and second place in the Duel Links Open took home prize money this week, which is great. Nice to see a tournament leveraging more of the money into the top 2, really congratulating those who come out on top of the tournament. But also keep in mind, we have the Duel Links Open 6 coming up Friday, March 30th. So if you want to get on some more Duel Links tournament action, mark that date down on your calendar. You don't want to miss it. Now, 2 Meta Weeklies have happened since our last report. And all I gotta say is congratulations to Skillshot for winning them both. The Meta Weekly 12 and the Meta Weekly 13. Skillshot won. He used a Dino deck to win the Meta Weekly 12, turned around, and no, did not jump on the Sylvan train this week, but pulled out a standard beatdown Red Eye Zombie deck and said, you know what? I can still do it with one of the oldies. Won the Meta Weekly 13 with beatdown Rez. Back-to-back Meta Weekly wins. And if that wasn't crazy, KW Rowe, I'm definitely butchering it, KWROWE, Kurowa, got second place in both Meta Weeklies. Meta Weekly 12 and 13. We've seen him run aliens in both, back-to-back, staying true to the aliens. But congrats, Skillshot and Crow, for being first and second place in back-to-back Meta Weeklies. And if you're looking to get in on some Meta Weekly action, just remember they're every single week, bro. And just to make sure everyone remembers that the J Cup 5 is coming up on March 31st. There's going to be a $3 buy-in, which guarantees there's going to be a pretty decent chunk of change up for grabs there. as well as the Duel Links Challenger Series 11 is going to be on April 1st. There's going to be a $2 buy-in for this tournament. Once again, guaranteeing there's some prize money to go around. But that's going to do it for our tournaments this week that we're covering, guys. Now let's jump into our tournament tier list of the week. And for this week's tournament tier list, we had coming in first with more top finishes than every other deck put together, Sylvans. Little did we know when we saw those Sylvans hit that box list that they were going to explode. We saw 11 Sylvan decks finish in the top ranks of this week's tournaments. Yes, 11. That was more than all the rest of the decks put together. Red Eye Zombie coming in second with 3 people playing Red Eye Zombie in the top ranks of this week's tournaments. Tied in second place, we have Citadel Whale decks and Dinos, both getting 2 decks apiece. And the honorable mentions of the week are Cyber Angels, Flying Fish, and Aliens, all with solo appearances in the top ranks of our tournaments this week. And yes, there is definitely Sylvans in the forecast for next week. Just how many? We'll have to wait and see. But let's move on to one of my favorite segments. It's all about Team Wars. All right, guys, time to bring out the sports reporter in me and talk about all things Team Wars. Since our last Duel Links Weekly, we saw VIP take down Creeping Death 10-7. All the Outs defeats the Renegades 10-6. We got Shrimp Squad maintaining their perfect record, taking down 3 Kings. Also, previously undefeated team 10-5. 3 Kings no longer in the undefeated squad in Team Wars. We got Sun Clan beating Bless RNG 10-5. Not a huge surprise. Bless RNG has not, at this point, did not have a win yet in the entire season. We got Garuda taking down Royal Card Fighters in a huge 10-4 victory. Bricks and Potatoes defeating Pharaohs 10-8. Moving into week 7 of Team Wars, we have we have Murder Inc. defeating Garuda 10-4. We got 3 Kings defeating Forbidden Memories 10-8. VIP taking down all the Outs 10-5. We got Animal Plays defeating Creeping Death 10-6. The Renegades going head to head with Royal Card Fighters, pulling through with a 10-5 victory. And saving for last, the biggest upset in Team Wars history. What might be the biggest upset Team Wars ever sees. The undefeated Bricks and Potatoes fall to Bless RNG, who, yes, did not have a single win this season. 10-9, Bless RNG takes that game. Now this requires some diving into. Yes, my own Team Wars team, Bricks and Potatoes. I got a story to tell, alright? So, it comes down to Bless RNG's last player, Jay Rabian. Jay Rabian's got 2 decks left. We have Lular and Andy left. Now Jay 2-0s Lular with Sylvans. Fantastic. Andy comes up to bat, whips out his Cyber Angels, takes on Jay's Sylvans, wins. So Bless RNG has 1 deck left now. Bricks and Potatoes still have 2 decks left. And Jay pulls out Mill. Alright? Mill against Cyber Angels. And lo and behold, Glowmoss. Yes, I repeat, Glowmoss. Who plays Glowmoss? What does the card even do? Glowmoss in a Mill deck. Well, Neospatian Glowmoss. When this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent draws 1 card. Reveal it, and based on its type, apply this effect. If it's a monster card, end the battle phase. Phenomenal. People run tons of monsters. They're typically the most common card found in any deck, especially Sylvans. And if it's a spell, if this card is attacking, you can change it to a direct attack instead. And if it's a trap, change this card to defense position. So basically, Glowmoss is relying on your opponent to have monsters in their deck, which of course they do, especially Sylvans, who are dominating the meta right now. So Glowmoss was able to single-handedly take home the CA matchup for Jay. And then with Mill as his last deck, Andy pulls out a 30-card Destiny Hero deck. And it all just goes downhill from here, guys. Mill was able to take the win versus a 30-card Destiny Hero deck, and Jay secured the victory for Bless RNG. Their first victory of the season with the biggest upset in Team Wars history, giving Bricks and Potatoes their first loss. And with that summary of that crushing defeat in Team Wars, it's going to bring us near the end of this Duel Links Weekly. I appreciate all of you guys who hung out and watched it. And of course, I really appreciate all of the feedback I received this past week. I've read through all of it, and I'm doing my best at implementing it this week and in the weeks to come. A lot of the really good points, I think someone suggested we don't number the Duel Links Weeklies and instead date them. I think that's a fantastic idea. Definitely going to do that. And of course, to touch on anybody, all of you guys who've been asking questions or making comments about the suit is here to stay, guys. This is a part of MasK Anchor at its best. I mean, I did a couple suit streams and I was really excited to whip it back out. And if you haven't noticed, we got a huge upgrade in the webcam department for this Duel Links Weekly. I went from a Microsoft live cam, like, to ancient webcam. We got a nice Logitech Brios going now, so I was really happy to get that upgraded. And honestly, please join our Discord, guys. Grab the link in the description down below. It's 100% free to join. We got an awesome community growing there, and it's a great place to post your own tournaments or events. We got a section for that. If you have any tournaments or events you want us to feature in the next Duel Links Weekly, you can reach out to me on Discord or go to duellinksnetwork.com to the tournament tab at the top, and you can enter in your tournament information there and have it featured on our website as well. But yeah, I think that's everything I got for you guys this week. Hopefully you tune in again next week. But until then, stay classy.